Hello everyone, Trevor G. Blake from trevorgblake.com. I've been getting a lot of emails lately from new readers of Secrets to a Successful Startup, and they all have the same sort of theme to it, and that is, in my opinion, what makes a successful business. And I give them all the same answer because I feel that successful startups are created right at the beginning. You can go back and fix, and you can adapt and change as you go, but it's a lot easier and a lot less stressful in life if you get it right from the very start. And at the very start is a winning idea. You know, if your idea for a business is just to have pink labels on a dog shampoo bottle, which is an idea that was actually presented to me, you don't have a winning idea. Okay, you just have another idea. And so a winning idea, for me, I've found it's not something that you're good at, and it's not something that you're necessarily passionate about or love doing. You can make businesses out of all of those things, but most of the successful businesses I know were started by people who didn't really set out to be a successful entrepreneur. I would include myself in that. We found something we wanted to fix or create or improve. And it got under our skin to the point where, in my case, in my first company, I kept presenting it to my CEO, the solution to the problem that we had, and he refused to listen. And I understood his reasons for refusing to listen, but it really got under my skin. And after a while, we had a big row, and I said to him, you know what, I'm going to go and do this myself. And of course, his response was, well, you're not capable because you're a junior manager, you've never been a CEO, you don't know what you're doing. But the thing is about starting a company is we find that we're remarkably capable of figuring things out. So right now, I'm on my companies number 4, 5, and 6. I sold the first 3. They were all very successful, all 9-figure sales. And not one of these companies could I actually say I was qualified to start. And that's not unusual. If you look at some of the biggest successes, you look at Amazon, probably the biggest success right now. Jeff Bezos just didn't want to miss out on the internet business. He was frustrated, and he got mad that he had to go to a bookstore and lose 2 hours of his life searching for a book that in the end he found out they couldn't have, or they didn't have. And so he matched his fixation with trying to find a better way of buying books as the internet was born. And that's how he started, just with a buy books over the internet. But the beauty of what he was trying to get to was, isn't it easier just to sit at home and search for what you want and then have it arrive, rather than have to get in a car, drive to a mall, go spend 2 hours around a bookstore with people who don't even know what's in the stock, and then you get the book you want and you find they don't have it, and you have to order it and get it to you 2 weeks later. That was his frustration. And look what that's become. He didn't set out at the beginning to build Amazon like it is today. You can take something like Netflix. Most people know this story. The founder of Netflix got so frustrated because he took a videotape back to Blockbusters when Blockbusters existed, and he got fined for it. He got a penalty for not rewinding the tape and a penalty for being late returning the video. Very archaic customer service, it sounds like now, doesn't it? And so he got frustrated, so he thought there's a better business model. So he matched it on like gym membership, so you can rent a video and keep it as long as you want. And that's, you have to pay a monthly fee, and you may never use it or use it 5 times a week. And so he started Netflix that way. Now we all know of Netflix now, and it's he didn't know what streaming was when he started Netflix. None of us did, and so he started, and he became successful because he made life easier for a customer. And look, where's Blockbuster now? Out of business, failed to adapt. And Netflix, everybody has heard of Netflix, whether you use it or not. So these are, when you look at the history of it, it looks like the man's, in this case it was a man, so the man's a genius, or the men were geniuses in this case. They weren't. They just were trying to fix something that got under their skin. And that's always been the case in my companies. I found something that I can't let go of somehow. I'm like a dog with a bone. And in the end, I have to say, well, I can't find a solution. I keep talking about it to people and they don't know any solutions. I'm going to have to do this myself. I'll figure it out. And the reason I decided to just figure it out is many years ago, I was lucky enough to be in the company of George Rothman, who back then was the sort of Bill Gates of the biotech world. He was in his 70s when I first met him, and he had built Amgen from nothing to 60 billion and ICOS from nothing to 30 billion when it was sold to Eli Lilly. And so, I probably asked him the same question, what's the secret to success? And I was waxing lyrical about my business plan over dinner with him one time, and he just put his hand up and he says, Trevor, you don't know what business you're in until you get in the business. Just start and figure it out. And that came from a man who'd created $90 billion worth of enterprise value at that point in time. And so that's what I've always done. And in all 6 of my businesses, I am uniquely unqualified to run any of them in terms of my technical ability, my understanding of the industry, my understanding of the customer. But I'm smart enough to know that I'm going to fix this and I can figure it out, because all humans have the capability to use these 100 billion neurons that sit on top of our neck in creative ways. So my answer to all of you who've said, what's the success, is get it right at the beginning. So take a pen and paper around with you everywhere and just make a note of the things that get under your skin a little bit. The things you think that you feel sure somebody somewhere must have come up with a solution. And then you search for the solution, you find out that nobody has. So you think, okay, there's a business. I'll start that. And then when you start, amazing things happen. Another example, in my first business, I thought I was going in a particular direction in the business. Had been in the business about 2 months, and a customer turned on and said, have you seen this? And it was an opportunity that was 10 times bigger than the one I'd started the company for. That only happens when you start and you get in the business, and that's what George Rothman was trying to tell me. So I hope that's useful, and if you'd like to know more about this, I expand on it and use a lot more examples, of course, in Secrets to a Successful Startup. And there's also a course that backs up Secrets to a Successful Startup that you can learn about on trevorgblake.com.